Okay, so we're not even going to do an intro today. So, as you guys all know, Arch Manning, the backup quarterback, the third string quarterback at the University of Texas, has opted out of the college football 25 video game. And a lot of you have actually been DMing me, some of you have been commenting. What are your thoughts, Trasher Football? What are your thoughts, Asher? Blah, blah, blah. I think this might be the most stupidest decision he could have made, and not only was it a stupid decision, but the way that he explained it was even worse. So as all of you know, more than 10,000 players have opted into the game, but Arch Manning hasn't. He's saying no, and like I said, his reasoning is that he wants to focus on football. Like, what do you mean you want to focus on football? Dude, all you have to do is sign an online form that came through your email. How lazy do you have to be for that? And another one of the big things is that I've heard people say, well, he doesn't want to opt in because he doesn't want to be a low overall and he doesn't want it to hurt his brand. When people don't realize the first like one or two NFL Madden games that Tom Brady was in, he was like 50, 60 something overall. He ended up being the greatest quarterback of all time. Now I know that that's NFL Madden games and this is college football, but I mean, that's just a good example. And does he not know what Dynasty Mode is? Because after a year or two, Quinn Ewers is going to be out of the Dynasty. People want to play with Arch Manning. But it's like he's making people wait at least another year. He wants to wait till he's the starter, which I understand. He has the right to opt out. But it doesn't mean we can't make fun of him for it. I'm not trying to take away Arch Manning's right to be not featured in a video game, to not have his likeness in the video game. And another one of the big things is you can't even name the generic player that he's going to be renamed after to Arch Manning, because the game's going to block us from being able to do it. So you want to know what we're going to have to do? We're probably going to have to call him March Anning. Probably Larch Danning. Something super stupid and obscure just so we can pretend that Arch Manning is the backup's backup quarterback in the game. And I know that a lot of people are thinking, well, he's the third string or the second string. Why is it important for him to be featured in the video game? Because he's a Manning. His uncles are Eli and Peyton, Super Bowl winning quarterbacks. And thank you, Eli, for making sure that Tom Brady didn't grab 2 extra rings in the process. This is the biggest family in football. It's the Mannings. Their grandfather, Archie, played football. One of the greatest old quarterbacks of a generation. His father, Cooper Manning, even played football. God bless his heart that he couldn't play for so long. Had to retire early. I don't even think he got to play in the league. But this might be even worse than being in the game and quote-unquote hurting your brand for maybe being like, what, a 70-something overall QB? Because it's the way that he handled it. Now, a lot of people thought that a lot of the big players that would opt out would be because of money. But apparently that's not why friggin' Arch Manning isn't going to be in the game. But it's because he wants to be the starter when he's in the game. So that has led a lot of people to think that he doesn't want to hurt his brand for being such a low overall in the game. Boo freaking who. Every quarterback now, I know that their likenesses weren't in the game, but their stats were right, their numbers were right, their height, their weight, everything about them was right except for their name and maybe the color of their skin of generic character. I mean, it doesn't even make sense. Tim Tebow was once in the game. I'm sure in his freshman season of 2006, NCAA 07, what was Tebow's rating in the game? Probably really low. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to find that out without actually owning the game, and I don't own it. But just reading this article, now I'll put this Sports Illustrated article in the description below. It says, Manning, who attempted only 5 passes in one game as Quinn Ewers' backup in 2023, wanted to wait till he was the guy at Texas, the source said. Like, there are so many people who are backups right now that are grateful for the opportunity to not only receive $600 so they can probably eat for a couple of months, but be able to be featured in a video game and have their likenesses in it. I mean, there's over 10,000. There's schools where every single scholarship player has opted into being in the game. And Arch Manning's big fat Manning ego is going to be like, no, I don't want to be a part of it. I want to wait until I'm the top as I am before I can get in there. He's really trying his best to become the most hated person in college football. Now, I do know a lot of people, they don't like Shedeur Sanders because he flexes his watch. He's the son of his head coach at Colorado, Deion Sanders. I know a lot of people don't like Travis Hunter because he plays with Shiloh and Shedeur, and his coach is Deion. They're really egotistical. A lot of people hate them for being egotistical, but at least they opted in the game. Now I understand Shedeur or Travis, they might be covers of the game. We don't know that yet. We'll have to find out in May. But even before, the most hated quarterback in the country was Caleb Williams. People hated him for how good he was, until people hated him for a reason. He wanted partial ownership of the NFL team he wants to get drafted by, which is against league rules. It's so stupidly funny that these quarterbacks are becoming divas. And I'm not even going to mention NIL because that's another huge deal that I think... So, NIL deserves to be in football. It deserves to be in college athletics. People should be able to make money off of their name, image, and likeness. But not to the point where you're developing an ego bigger than the size of the earth. It's unimaginable, the mindset that it goes through to being a quarterback, but when you're already in the Manning family and you're trying to pretend that you're better than you are, you're a third-string quarterback. I get you were the top quarterback in your class. I get you're a part of the Mannings, but it's a football game. This game is made by fans, for fans, with fans in mind. Now I understand there's a lot of college football players that are still playing that can't wait to play the game, to play with their teammates, play with their friends, play as them, play with their head coach. Now I know head coaches won't be in the game, but you know what I mean. You can easily rechange the name, I'm pretty sure. But with all that being in the game, Arch needs to use his little brain of his to know this isn't a political thing. He's just being a little jerk. He's being a brat. Like, now I know I've been a brat before, but I'm 20. I'm older than Arch Manning by 2 years. I should know. I've probably gone through the mindsets of him at least outside of athletics in high school. I know how hard classes and stuff can be. Now, I never went to college, thank God. College is idiotic. Don't waste your money on that unless you get a scholarship to play football or any other college athletic sport. But, like, it's I can't sit here and ramble on for an hour. Now, I know I've only gone 8 minutes, but, like, it's... Arch Manning, he still technically has, unless he's filled out the form. Now, I don't know what the form looks like. I don't know if he just has it still waiting in his emails where he can sign it up later. He still has all the way till, I think, April 30th to opt in the game unless he specifically signed out the form and said, I do not want to be a part of this game. I don't know if he can turn around and change his mind, but if he can, I think he really should ponder the idea of turning around and changing his mind and opting into the game. It's $600 extra in your pocket, a free copy of the game, plus you won't have the ornery college football fans breathing down your neck, yelling at you. Now, I understand, I may be overreacting, other college football fans may be overreacting, but we bring a good point. This might be the most idiotic decision a college quarterback could have made out of any of these games. And you know, even not making enough money is more understandable than, oh, I just want to focus on football. You know, you can still be in the game and focus on I'm done. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to our 2 channel members, Matthew and Dan. Hope you all have a great video, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Screw Arch Manning. You need to change your mind, buddy.